Just over 2 weeks ago, Kawhi Leonard returned to NBA action, participating in 4 games. His latest outing against Brooklyn showcased a classic Kawhi style, contributing to a decisive 59-point victory. Presently, the Clippers are positioned 5th in the Western Conference at 23-17, with Kawhi still in the process of ramping up. Given the team's solid performance, what can we infer from Kawhi's play since his return, and what implications does this have for their future? If you examine Kawhi's stats since his return, you might not think much of them. The limited volume in the box score stands out: point attempts, a significant career low, and just below 36% on three-pointers, which represents his worst mark in over 10 years. Honestly, these figures don't concern me at all. I believe this is merely a result of shaking off the rust, as he's been leaving most longer jumpers short, a sign he's working to regain his legs. If this persists after 20 or 30 games, it may raise concerns, but for now, I'm focusing on the shot types he's attempting and the process behind obtaining them. As a jump shooter, it's essential to see if he's generating enough separation to achieve recognition as one of the most proficient ball-handling forwards in history. His exceptionally long arms allow him to maneuver with remarkable tightness and precision, which is truly rare. Consider this play: the way he executes a crossover and navigates between his legs with such speed and determination is not typically seen from a tall wing. Alongside his tight handle, he has consistently displayed excellent body control and the capacity for rapid directional changes, which, to my observation, remains very much intact. Therefore, when it comes to generating separation in the mid-range, I think he remains the same player. That ability to change direction is also a key factor that positions him as a formidable slasher, as he poses a threat not only to shoot jumpers but also to drive to the hoop. Concerns regarding Kawhi. The first is his vertical explosiveness. This may be a result of working back into game condition or perhaps exercising caution for injury management. But, during the limited time we've watched him play, he's essentially had no explosiveness off the ground, which has made it difficult for him to score during transition or in the paint at all. Direction were crucial for his slashing. However, the most important trait was his first step, which seems to be absent. Take this play as an example. He initiates the offense with a high ball screen, and after he gets the switch, he tries to turn the corner but fails to accelerate. Consequently, instead of entering the paint, he has to settle for a much more difficult step-back three. I want to emphasize again that he hasn't played much recently, and in a few weeks, he might return to his usual form. But based on his current performance, we're looking at a player who isn't putting much pressure on the basket. Fortunately, he appears to have nearly every counter at his disposal when his driving lanes are cut off, thanks to his tight handle and quick change of direction. He can always create a new lane, and his capacity to shoot from any angle genuinely provides him with a high baseline. Additionally, his sturdy build and excellent mid-range game allow him to rely on the bump mid-range jumper for easy scoring. However, if he genuinely lacks the burst to consistently outpace his defender and the ability to finish at the rim consistently, I don't believe it's in either his or the team's best interest for him to be playing from the perimeter right now. One could argue that his two greatest strengths as a player are his strength and footwork, so they should really aim to have him working inside the arc as much as possible. This is what I fully expect, as the Clippers mainly utilized him in this manner over the past 2 seasons. They often had him curling off screens in the paint or establishing himself in the mid-post, where he's one of the hardest players in the league to defend. Even with the limited glimpses we've seen this season, this aspect of his game appears unchanged. He's still making spins with the same agility, reading the defense quickly, and executing all the right counter moves to create the shots he desires. In that recent blowout against Brooklyn, frankly, just a high-level post-up game, paired with what the Clippers already execute, truly enhances their offense and presents a challenging matchup for many defenses. Most of their possessions begin with a pick and roll involving Harden and Zubac. If the defense drops, Harden expertly turns the corner and executes the 2-on-1 exceptionally well. If the defense is in a hedge, Harden will aim to pass the ball to the short roll, and Zoo is a quick decision-maker capable of consistently making the right reads. If the defense switches, Harden will either isolate to score himself or find Zoo in the post, as he can exploit mismatches too. This forms the foundation of their offense, and they will also incorporate some plays for another 20-point-per-game scorer, Norman Powell, who excels in all areas from pick and rolls to off-ball screens, taking advantage of all three scoring levels as the league's top catch-and-shoot threat. However, there are two issues with this strategy. First, Harden is now heavily reliant on his jump shot, meaning whether his three-pointer is landing can significantly impact whether he has a great or poor scoring game. When combined with some limitations in Norman's ball handling and creating ability, the offense can occasionally stagnate, leaving them without a steady option to rely on. That's where Kawhi's post-up game becomes crucial. Secondly, due to Norm's limitations I previously mentioned, when Harden is on the bench, they often struggle to create enough shots to generate good looks. By staggering Harden and Kawhi, they always have a reliable go-to player for ball handling. Additionally, it's vital to note that as soon as Kawhi's jumper is completely restored, he can easily integrate into whatever the Clippers want to achieve due to his off-ball play capability. Throughout his career, he has been an elite three-point catch-and-shoot specialist, excelling at relocating and positioning himself to generate space. So whether LA is running pick and rolls for Harden, curl screens for Paul, or post-ups for Zubac, he fits in quite well. Referring back to my point on a very defensive strategy, those are four vastly different players able to score 20 points each, contingent on the defense they encounter. There's always a strategy to employ, which is significant because it's predominantly the defense that's been securing their victories. After 40 games, they've ranked only 22 ND offensively in the NBA, with less than 112 points scored every 100 possessions. While I don't anticipate Kawhi to ability to various schemes. On the defensive side, they possess the second-best defense, allowing just 108 points per 100 possessions. It's challenging to evaluate defense from such a limited sample size, but in observing Kawhi, there are promising signs. I think at this juncture in front of him in most scenarios, and, naturally, he's equipped with some of the finest hands we've ever witnessed, combined with those long arms that enable him to perform some remarkable plays on the ball. So as a wing defender against opposing 3s and 4s, it wouldn't surprise me if he's still among the elite defenders in the league, and that's significant because of how this Clippers team is built. That's really all he needs to focus on. They already possess one of the best point-of-attack defenders in Chris Dunn, who can trail guards around screens and create mayhem. They have another player in Derrick Jones Jr., an incredible athlete who can take on most positions. Furthermore, everything is anchored by one of the top drop bigs in Ivica Zubac, who secures the paint and effectively finishes off each possession on the boards. Consequently, Kawhi can seamlessly integrate into their team's style without any disruption. They prefer to switch every action between their wings to maintain a body in front of the ball while Zubac covers the paint and does cleanup duty. As mentioned, I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that Kawhi has diminished as a defender. And with him on the floor, they possess so much versatility and creativity that I'm not entirely certain how to dismantle them. In my opinion, I think the second-ranked that combination has been the key to many successful teams. The 2024 Timberwolves featured the top defense and ranked 16th in offense. The 2022 Warriors boasted the second-best defense while also having the 16th offense. The 2020 Raptors had the second defense along with the 14th offense, and the 2018 Celtics had the second defense and 18th offense. I'm not suggesting the Clippers are stylistically similar to these teams or claiming they're superior or inferior. I'm merely indicating that there's historical support for the formula they've developed that leads to great achievements. However, all of this is irrelevant if Kawhi can't maintain his health. While they've remained competitive throughout the season without him, if they enter a series without him being fully healthy for all 7 games, I really wouldn't feel confident in picking them over any team in the West. I understand why some may have their doubts or even look the other way when discussing Kawhi. He hasn't been consistently healthy for a playoff series in 5 years. Nevertheless, what stands out to me is that this is undoubtedly the best regular season squad. He's continued to play since the Raptors, which all I'm suggesting is that you likely don't want your team in their path. If you like this analysis, please drop a like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications to be among the first to see more content. Feel free to share your thoughts on the Clippers in the comments. As always, I wish you all a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.